hit that like button, would you kindly? Hey yo guys, only the real ones are gonna get that intro, so anyone else that doesn't get it, don't look it up. Well anyway, it's been 8 years since the last Bioshock game, and it's been 11 since the last time we set foot in Rapture. The Bioshock series is so atmospheric, it's a series I want to go back and explore again. 2K did announce a while ago that they were working on a new Bioshock game, but then 2020 hit, so what's up with it now? But I know a lot of fans of the series might disagree with the new title since Ken Levine won't be at the head of development this time around, but with how open-ended he left Bioshock Infinite, it leaves a lot of potential under capable hands of course. I don't want to spoil the ending of Bioshock Infinite, but it left us with many opportunities of retellings and alternative stories that could be told using the same Bioshock retrofuturistic formula. But where can the series go from here? Do they return to the depths of the ocean or return to the sky? Two seriously contrasting settings. The dark and settling utopia that was Rapture, or the bright and lively city of the skies that's Columbia. Both are very iconic settings in gaming for me. I don't know about everybody else. But something about the time period and the oddly technological advances that they had, it's very interesting to me. The music, the visuals, and the characters reacting to these worlds keep me so engaged. That's why I love the Fall series so much too. It's so similar but very different at the same time. But back to Bioshock, where can the series go? Do you go maybe to a deserted or closed off island from the world? Or do we take this into the depths of the planet itself, similar to Old New York and Futurama, mutants and all? Or they can take the series to new heights and take Bioshock to space, baby. It can be about colonizing Mars, and Elon Musk will take the reins as Andrew Ryan in that timeline. That just makes so much sense, right? He's already looking into making chips to install into people to reach one's potential or something like that. That could be similar to Adam and the Plasmids, you know? Maybe I should have kept it to myself. That's a great plotline to build on. But even with a proper setting for our new Bioshock game, should we trust 2K without Ken Levine at the driver's seat? It's scary to trust a new dev team to handle a loved franchise. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened. I mean, Epic Games stopped making Gears of War if you didn't know. They stopped after the third one. And Microsoft was not ready to be without another exclusive, so they just put a new team on it to develop more games. Same with Halo. They finished the fight with Halo 3 and they got one more prequel game from Bungie, and then they left. Once again, Microsoft had its back against the wall with its biggest franchise. So they put 343 to make a couple more games. And they weren't bad games, they were just not good Gears and Halo games respectively. And I'm sorry about the statement, I know some fans are gonna get mad at it, but the games just aren't as magical as the first trilogy. My copy of Halo 5 is still brand new. It didn't have split screen co-op, so I never got around to it. You think I'm gonna play Halo by myself? And it wasn't just Microsoft that went through it, Sony went through the same thing with Crash. Naughty Dog would start doing other projects, and well, Sony had already made up Crash to be a direct rival to Mario, so they couldn't just let it die so quickly, so they threw a couple devs at it, and that didn't work out, and then they eventually lost the IP. And let's not forget what Team Ninja did to Metroid. No, actually, let's forget about it. But you know what? Sometimes the stepdad steps up. Metroid, before Other M of course, took the big leap to 3D, and Retro Studios hit it out of the park. Actually, Retro Studios has to be one of the best dev teams out there. They took the challenge of bringing back Rare's Donkey Kong Country with Returns and came up with possibly some of the best, maybe actually the best of the best 2D platformer games out there. Come to think of it, Nintendo's pretty good at, selecting new dev teams to handle their beloved franchises. Not all the time, but most of the time they do. Kid Icarus Uprising was actually a great revival of an old classic, but it did have the perfection in Sakurai. And let's go back to Fallout. Fallout had a great jump to 3D thanks to Bethesda. I mean, some can argue that Obsidian did a little bit better than Bethesda, but hey, to each their own. And then finally Crash could get some redemption with Crash 4. But here's the kicker, Bioshock has already gone through a change of team already with Bioshock 2. Bioshock 2 was handled by a different dev team and a different director. Reception wise, it still got critical acclaim, just not the same score as Bioshock did, because Bioshock got a high score, but it was still great. I mean, I love Bioshock 2. I love the way you played as a big daddy, and then you had the bond with the little sisters, and the big sister was an interesting twist too. Just odd that they weren't missing in the first game, but they do explain why, but it was just a little odd. I really dig the mini horde battles that would come up whenever the little sisters would extract Adam from a dead body, I believe, and then all the splicers would come out just trying to get that Adam, and then you had time to set up traps with your plasmids before the battle actually began. That was a lot of fun. But still, even then, the fans were a little split on Bioshock 2, but that wouldn't be the last time that the fanbase was divided, because Infinite would do the same. With such a polarizing story and ending, and being a contrast of the dark and dirty and terrifying world of Rapture, people were a little sad the way Bioshock went. But heads up, there might be a little bit spoilers for this 8-year-old game. I'll make sure to add a timestamp so you know where to skip to. But to get into it, the story had some time travel, and sometimes that's a big no-no. I remember my first run at the game, I was lost when they first did the time skip, and I had to go back to my save to understand what the hell was going on. And then the ending went even deeper in trying to explain the time loop, and that Bioshock was a vicious cycle of a man creating a crooked utopia. But then again, I don't want to get that deep into it because I know some of you guys might have not actually skipped over, you naughty little viewers. Or, you know, you guys still want to pick up the collection, which is a great deal. But then again, I don't really mind time travel stories too much. I love the Terminator movies. Well, I like 3 of them. The original 2. And then I actually like Genesis. Yeah, I know. You can boo me, but the movie's a fun ride when you don't think about it. Plus, it was the first time I ever saw the love of my life, Emilia Clarke. But you always gotta do that with time travel movies. Don't think about it, just enjoy the ride. I actually loved the story for Infinite, and I loved Columbia. It was actually my game of the year 2013. Well, actually, you know, A Link Between Worlds, the Zelda game, actually came out that year, and I love that game too. But I was one of the weirdos that was not writing The Last of Us. Great game, but I love these 2 more. So I'd say that Bioshock has actually survived from both a change of dev team and being drastically different from its prior title. And what works in favor for Bioshock coming back is that it wasn't pumped out soon after Infinite and Ken leaving the franchise. It's been 8 years, like I said, and it's gonna be way more. It's either they haven't started this game or they're taking their sweet time with it, and I hope it's that they're taking their sweet time with it. And then it didn't even go through a phase of just too much Bioshock, so there's no fatigue for the series. With Halo and Gears of War, there was no gap in between the games and the change of dev team, so the games just felt tired by then. So I'm feeling really optimistic about Bioshock. But now the big question is the game actually gonna come out? It's been a while since it was announced, and then it's years from releasing. But will they actually go through with it, or will this be a Bioshock Vita? Remember when that got announced and then nothing? And then 2020 happened, and who knows how much progress has been made. Obviously only time will tell, but I for one welcome a new entry into Bioshock. I miss the world, the gameplay, and the plasmids. But thankfully the games were remastered recently. Well, not recently. And thankfully for the game's great art style, the games still hold up. So I do recommend buying the set, because sooner or later there's gonna be a new Bioshock game, and you do not want to miss out on that hype train. But yeah guys, let me know, are you guys nervous about a new Bioshock game, or are you excited? Let me know which one is your favorite from the series. I love all 3 of my children equally, but the first one's always secretly the favorite. But don't tell the others though. I should know, because I'm not the favorite. Why, Mom? But if you made it this far, we'll hit the second child's video with a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you.